Crimson_Ricky is first to the stream. Drink, you fool.
Okay, I think we are about ready to go, more or less. Well, how's everyone doing today? Hold on, Crimson, I see you are indeed first. I shall hydrate, and Crimson with the 170 stream streak. My god. When will it just be the peak? The peak keeps on climbing. I gotta get my phone going. So, how's everyone doing today? I mean, I feel like we have to go straight into talking about the big news today. Tired, yeah. The big news today being, uh, Sony is not going to be making physical games anymore. All digital only. Uh, which I think I heard them also mention that the PlayStation 6 was also going to be digital only as well. So this was just the signs were there. I think Hot Corn Dog mentioned in the server that most people, at least with Sony, which I think this applies to everywhere else as well, Sony's game sales were like what 85% digital sales and 15% physical sales, something like that. So yeah. Uh, Also, they also said this is the double whammy. Uh, PlayStation 3, they already released a discless console. You're talking about the PS5? Well, they then added. They have two versions. They have the discless and the disc version. Now it sounds like the PS6 is only going to be the discless. But the double whammy also is that they're shutting down the PlayStation 3 and the PS Vita stores, the digital stores. Well, I have two versions, huh? To already start that transition. Yep, that's a good point. Because there were plenty of people at the time. There were plenty of people that bought only digital, right? There were plenty of people that did not buy physical. So they thought, hey, if you're digital only, if you're someone that doesn't like to buy physical, how about save $100? But it's clearly because they wanted to transition. It's kind of like Nintendo with the key cards and that being basically a digital only thing. It's going to be a slow transition. It's just going to be a slow transition. Whoop, damn it. That's not what I meant. Like the pretty cases on my shelf. And the ownership. Don't forget the ownership of it. Because, okay, think also this. Just recently, I think this was just last week. Sony just deleted 500 movies and shows off your digital, like through Sony Now or something, or PlayStation Now. Like, not even just like, oh, taking it off a streaming service. No, if you bought it digitally, they deleted it. You don't own things anymore. They're going to digitally loan us the console. I feel like that you're not. I know you're joking, Crimson, but I've heard stuff like that before. This is the first time they've done that. Delete the movies, Xander. I know about that. They did it before, but I heard they backpedaled on it, and I think they actually went through with it this time. And even if they haven't on either of them, the threat's still there. You're scared to open your game library on PS5. I wonder how that works with DLC for physical ones. I don't know. They did not backpedal? Okay. Yeah, yeah, it's not a good sign. I have talked about getting a PS5, like a used one. We also don't own games on Steam either. That is also very true. That is very true that I think we all kind of forget. Because I think Steam has done a good job about not making people worried about that, but that's still a worry. And I think that's why GOG is a viable alternative, I think. We own those more than we own PS1, the PlayStation ones. Yeah, I agree, Shrew. We only have the licenses to use games. At least they give two fucks. Steam is the last bastion for gaming. Well, hold on. Hold on a second on that one. Okay, when we're talking about gaming as a whole, if we're just talking about physical media, there's still Nintendo, but let's be honest, with the game key cards and among other things, that's just gonna it's a stepping stone. The other thing I just saw though, and I think I remember seeing this before, but it sounds like Microsoft for their next console, there's talk about being able to convert your physical discs to a digital version onto your console. Almost what I do with my physical media onto my computer. If that is true, and depending on how they handle it, that could be the alternative. I don't know. Just being able to copy the games off the disc, but still play the games digitally on the console. I mean, granted, isn't it almost already like that as it is? Did you hear about the private servers being illegal? It was something with Minecraft. Oh, yeah, I did. I think I heard something about that, but I don't know much of the details. Like, ugh. There's just a lot going on. Okay, and I know I brought it up. PS3 and Vita stores are shutting down. If you are in America, you got until July of next year to make sure you get all the digital purchases you want. Basically, for me, it's like DLC that I want. If you're in other countries, though, you should take a look if you care, because they'll be shutting down the PlayStation stores sooner. Essentially, they decided private servers are illegal, break TOS, since it's someone independently hosting the game instead of the manufacturer, which is wild. And I really hope you guys pay attention to the Stop Killing Games Act that was started, I think, like a year or two ago. And I think it's kind of being brought over here recently, so that's something that should be taken a look into. Basically, if you don't know, I'm definitely going to butcher some of this for sure, but the Stop Killing Games is more meant for stuff like this, where it's like, well, there needs to be a end goal or off-ramp for when you do, like, make a game not playable anymore, whether it's private servers, like allow private servers, allow offline hosting or something, you know, because there are plenty of digital only, like, online games that you can't play anymore because they shut down the servers. The idea of Stop Killing Games is there needs to be a way to still play them, because essentially, if, let's say you buy the game new for $60, well, that's $60 even if it's a year or two later. That's $60 that went to waste. It went into the trash. It was a slow degrading trash, but it went into the trash. Biggest example was Concord, wasn't it, though? That game didn't even last 2 weeks. Granted, they gave a refund, which I think that's that's one example they can do that Stop Killing Games asks for, but, like, look, as much as we meme on Concord, that game is dead. There's no way to play it. That's bad for preservation. As much as we meme on Concord. Yeah. I can't think of what else is there to mention. True, Are there any PS3 or Vita stuff you need to consider downloading before it shuts down next year? Because we're in America. We got a year. I think in Mexico and some other countries, you got like a month or two before the store shut down. Like, that's how soon it can be. You need to take a look if, you need to consider taking a look. Anyway, kind of back to Final Fantasy XIV. I honestly only played yesterday. I did not play much. And even then, all I did was work on a little bit of this. And I worked a little bit on my, Relic Reborn a little bit. I managed to get farther, but I could have done more. But the fireworks have been going off, and my dog gets scared, so I kind of had to just stop and just try to calm her down. So I didn't do much more than this. I still do not have this because I did not bother. Like I said, I did not play like at all this week. So unless someone wants to jump in and we do like hard mode dungeons or something, I guess I'll be doing plot. So how are politics going? Oh god, we don't want to go that hard into politics. Even then, there's a lot going on to keep up with. I know you joke, Crimson, but I do not want to be a political commentator. Anyway, like hard politics anyway. Pop culture news is the farthest I'll go, or I would be willing to go. Anyway, unless someone wants to jump in and do multiplayer stuff, I will just continue plot. And if I remember the plot, we're setting up Shiva. The persistent attacks on our caravan seem a little bit more than a nuisance at first. The heretics were a problem, to be sure, but a relatively minor one. That was before I discerned the purpose behind their attacks, of course. Now they have my undivided attention. After praising Minfilia of the situation... Uprising of Minfilia. Did you see the video? Oh, the live-action Inazuma thing? I did not watch it yet. I should have. I shall summon a unit of Crystal Braves to assist us. As for you, Scottbot, pray join me in the White Brim front. Since the incident in Snowcloak, the Knights of the House Dendrare have redoubled their reconnaissance efforts in the region. It is my hope that they have informed, which may help us determine precisely where the heretics are heading. Given our mutual enemy, Lord Drillmont should be eager to oblige us. I shall see you there then. Good. Oh, whoops. There we go. Yeah, don't know what else is there to say about what's going on with Sony. I'm still considering a used PlayStation 5 so I can stream modern games as an option. PlayStation 4 stuff will run better. There's still a benefit for me for getting one, even if it's just used, which I don't care, it's fine. I don't need a new one. Plus, that's a lot of money. They raised the prices. Which, I don't know if you heard, but Xbox is also raising the prices, too. For their consoles. What else? But I think after the PlayStation 5, because it's digital only, I would probably just go Steam, basically, or GOG. One of those two. Either way, like, if it's digital only, might as well just stick with Steam. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn wish to join in the hunt for Iceheart. Your assistance is more than welcome, my friends. Considering the report I just received, I dare say your timing could be no better. We are all ears, Lord Drillmont. A band of pilgrims was seen transporting a large number of crates to the west. Their garb appears to match the description provided by the squire who survived the attack. Alas, our scouts lost track of them at Snowcloak, the self-same frozen wall which speculated might conceal the heretics' hideaway. Suffice it to say, the disappearance of these pilgrims and their provisions all but confirms our suspicions. I've heard enough. My knights will join the hunt. I took the liberty of summoning a unit of Crystal Braves to right brim front. Given the gravity of the situation, I trust you will agree that we must use every resource available to us. These are extraordinary circumstances, Commander. 'Twould be in our best interest to coordinate our efforts. Such was my intent from the start, Sir Aymeric. And so it begins, my friend. Though I dare say it will provide an all-too-brief collaboration, Icehart will not elude the combining forces of the Crystal Braves and the Temple Knights for long. Nevertheless, a wise man does not wager all upon the success of a single situation or a single solution. There may yet be subtler means by which we can locate the heretics' lair. Mayhaps Lord Drillmont has one in mind. Oh, cutscene. Is it voiced? Yes, yes. Excellent. It's not voiced. I have to voice it. My lady, everything has been accounted for. If there is aught else you would have us do, pray speak, and it shall be done. And is that it? Did PNG freeze? I think it did. Time to fix that. Wow. Yeah, PNG froze. Damn it. You know, I brought this up with at least with Hot Corn Dog before. I don't know if I brought it up on stream before, but I think he mentioned that he hacked his PlayStation 3. One thing that I kind of hope that people have done, if not already, is get all of the PlayStation 3 downloadable stuff just up there somewhere, you know what I mean? Come, game? Or computer? Yeah, okay. PNG is fixed. Audio is like completely gone? Okay, the music just decided to stop. Yeah, I kind of hope someone, if not already, has already, you know, uploaded PlayStation 3 stuff. You know? Because if you bought a PS3, or if you buy a PS3 and you want a, you buy a physical disc, but there's DLC for it, but oh no! The stores are shut down. However, will you get that DLC? Mod the PS3 and find it somewhere? That's kind of what I hope gets done, if not already. It seems as though we are always one step behind. Our quarry, ever just beyond our reach, though I would like to believe that the tables are about to turn. I must confess to having certain doubts. A joint effort may succeed where others have failed, but it could yet yield the self-same result. Fortunately, we are not without other options. I trust you haven't forgotten Inquisitor Golemy? Whatever. We have not. The mystery of how the heretics remains undiscovered for so long has been much to our thought. as as has the question of what steps might be taken to prevent a similar breach of security in the future. Accordingly, we conducted an exhaustive and covert evaluation of everyone in White Brim Front. Though some were found to have committed certain minor transgressions, we identified the only one possible heretic. If this man has pledged himself to Iceheart's cause, he will have taken note of the movements of the Temple's knights in the Crystal Braves, and upon recognizing their intent, he may attempt to warn the heretics. The man's watch is to end soon, at which point he must report to Sir Jean Tremont in the yard. I would have you keep an eye on him. If he ventures beyond the walls, follow him discreetly. Should he meet with a heretic, do not interfere. Simply watch and listen. I have seen it to that the suspect knows nothing which could endanger our plans. Gotta do some stealth sneaking around. I mean, it's like the 3DS, right? That game store is shut down. If you want to get DLC, for any DLC for physical games that, exist, you can't get them anymore. So, better hope you find them somewhere. Left through the southwest gate. Keeps following the road to the east. Very suspicious. Keeps going to the east. Or south. My bad. Yeah, I can't say I really did much yesterday. Other than, playing just a little bit of this, I watched some more Batman. That's about it. Didn't really do all that much. Hey! Where in the Seven Hells are you? I'm freezing my bollocks off here. I'm here, you blundering oaf. Why are you late? Standing on the wall. Why else? I have duties to fulfill, you know. Your sole duty is to the... Bloody echo. Lower your voice, or they'll hear us in White Brim Front. Yes, of course. The Temple Knights are... Mumble. In Snowcloak. Is this what you bring me? We already know about Mumble. Our comrades in Boulder Downs will use the tunnels. Mumble. Dead before they know what's happening. Nevertheless, Mumble. If you waste my time again. Is that clear? This is where we use a stealth potion, right? Okay, no, we just run. I hope they don't hear my footsteps. Because the cave echoes. Yeah, I've seen people online blaming GTA 6, being like, that was the test, and we failed, this is what happens. I'm like, no, this is a symptom. This isn't the cause. Sony wasn't going to make a decision like that just based on GTA 6, like, what, a week ago? No, this has been planned. Again, the signs are there. The signs have been there for a while now. Again, the fact that the PlayStation 6, there is no physical version, and they announced that, like, what, a couple months ago? The signs are there the entire time. Well, did your investigation bear fruit? I think my PNG froze. Again. I'll fix that. Yep. It did. I'm curious on the Xbox One, though. Where they'll let you copy physical games over. But let's just say that's true, and there's no potential issues with those games that get copied over. Like, no potential loopholes. Like, everything's fine. You still have your games. You can still trade them over. You can still play your games digitally. Blah, blah, blah. Let's just say that. It's still a transition period. It's still a temporary solution to what is the inevitable. And, you know, I remember back when digital games was a discussion, back in the PS3, Xbox 360 era, how there was always talk that because there's no manufacturing, the digital games should be cheaper than the physical game. And that never happened. They were always the same price. Not counting any sort of, like, digital sales, right? They were always the same price. Nowadays, Nintendo is actually the one doing that, where the digital game is like $10 cheaper than the physical version. And that kind of makes sense. Now, going forward with PlayStation, are the game prices going to go down? No. No, they're not. If anything, they're probably going to go up. And I think GTA 6 will be the catalyst of that part. I see. I shall have the man detained at once. His guilt is plain. Would that you could have heard their words more clearly. Yet the few snatches you were able to make out are nonetheless enlightening. It would seem the heretics are aware of our operation, and confident that they can thwart it. Their comrades in Boulder Downs are key to their plans, which means it is key to our plans that they be routed out and put to the sword. Posh Spot? Ooh, Chiaki. Ads are gonna start in like 10 seconds, but you need to give me something to say, Chiaki. And I'll wait for after ads to do that. But yeah, I need something to say. And ads have started. I shall wait. I'm now actually paying attention a little bit more. I shall wait for the ads to play. We got a minute 20. Might as well check your socials and all that. Imagine having ads, though. I can't. I can't imagine. Ugh. Little dancing bug. Whatever the dialogue is? Oh, okay. So, just this dialogue, read in a posh accent. Okay, I'll do that. Oh, again, wait for the ads to finish. We got 35 seconds. Yeah. I hate when there's like silence in the games because it's taking that long for the music to reset. Let's see. 5 seconds. Okay. Ads should be done. Chiaki has redeemed Poshbot. And instead, the dialogue, whatever this dialogue is, read as Poshbot. Okay. We have long suspected that the heretics used a network of secret tunnels to traverse the highlands undetected. Given what you overheard, I fear that Snowcloak may be riddled with such passageways, and that the heretics in Boulder Downs are planning to use them to take our forces unawares. Needless to say, we cannot allow that to happen. A contingent of House Derringer knights are on patrol in the area, and I shall order them to begin searching for the heretics at once. But knowing nothing is our enemy's numbers or readiness, I cannot say for sure that they will be sufficient. It would put my mind at ease if you would consent to my assist to my knights with the search. I know they would take courage from the presence of so storied a warrior. Pray rendezvous with them at Boulder Downs. If a Halone is kind, we may catch these heretics before their plan comes to fruition. Show them no mercy, Scottbot. The lives of our allies are at stake. There we go. Yeah, Cyber, we spent like the first, 10 to 15 minutes talking about that. 7k points well spent. Good. I'm glad you're satisfied. Another satisfied customer with Poshbot. Yeah, Cyber. We spent like the first 10 minutes not playing the game, just discussing that whole thing. And I don't know if you also caught, Cyber, that the PS3 and the Vita stores are also shutting down. If you're in America, you got until July of next year. Other countries can be sooner. You know that? Okay. Apparently as soon as August. Yep. I think for some of the... I think Mexico's one of the ones that are stores delisting in August. So again, if you have PlayStation 3 or Vita, and there's any game or DLC that you want to get on that thing, gonna have to consider getting it now, or relatively soon. And Cyber, combined that with the PlayStation 6 being announced, or at least rumored, no, it was announced, I think, where it's gonna be digital only, and that was a month or two ago when they said that. The signs were there that this was coming. PS6 is not going to sell. Boycott's going to be heavy. One can only hope, right? As you probably saw in the Discord, Cyber, I think Hot Corn Dog mentioned this, where I think 85% of Sony sales for games are digital, and 15 are physical. If that's actually true, I could see why you would make this change. Doesn't mean I like it. People go to console mainly for physical. Again, you say that, but most of Sony's games have actually been digital purchases, apparently. Why do you think they gave PlayStation 5 a digital-only version that was cheaper? Because during the PlayStation 4 era, they probably noticed that a lot of people have bought a lot of their games digitally. So it was enough of a difference to make a digital-only version for the PlayStation 5. That was just a stepping stone of what's to come, though. This is a bad thing for ownership, though, because you will not own your games. Again, last week, combine this news with the fact that Sony just deleted 500 movies and shows off your digital purchases. Again, not like through streaming, your actual digital purchases. You don't own anything, and you'll be happy. That's what they want. Again, I think a lot more people are actually focusing more on Steam now. I think that's been the case. I think the people who got a PlayStation 5 and are mostly digital purchases, I think they've already transferred to Steam already. And they got a PS5, I don't know, out of some exclusives that they had, or blind loyalty, I don't know. My knights sent no word of your coming. Scapan, what has happened? What is that in your hand? By the Fury, those were veterans with years of service. And now they lie dead in the snow. Their bodies must be recovered and... No. We have not the men to spare. Not now. Not while Iceheart prepares to summon an abomination. I can see PS6... See the PX6 not selling. I think I can too. Because... assuming the PlayStation 6 is going to be digital only. No physical version in sight, right? That's just going to be the thing unless they backpedal. Which I don't think they will. A lot of people will just be like, well, why get a PlayStation 6 when the price is probably going to be $1,000, if not more, when I could just play games on Steam? Although, didn't Sony say that they're going to take their single-player games and make them PlayStation exclusives again? Just to try to give console a reason to buy the console? Because for a while, they just put all of their games that would be exclusive on Steam, so there was absolutely no reason to get a PlayStation. Which is what 3 ISP? Or IPS? Yeah, 3 IPs. That is true. It would be like Ratchet and Clank being one of them. Let's be honest. Sony has a few. They just don't make games for them anymore. And some games that were considered Sony PlayStation only are multi-platform because they are third party. Crash and Spyro being big examples of that. God of War, Marvel, Ratchet and Clank. That's it for modern. There might be a couple more, but yeah, more or less. Like something like Jak and Daxter and Sly Cooper probably would be, but there hasn't been any games for those games. Sly Cooper got one in like 2013. That was its last game, and Jak and Daxter got a new game before that. So like, yeah. The heretics you dispatched were not sufficient number to contend with the combined strength of the Temple Knights and the Crystal Braves. There must be others. And I'll wager that they're on their way to Snowcloak as we speak. To make matters worse, it seems the traitor you followed managed to pass the heretics something of value after all. The parchment you recovered is a timetable of the guardsmen's watches at our outpost in Snowcloak. The traitor was stationed there long before he aroused our suspicions. Would that he had caught him sooner. Or we had caught him sooner. With this information, the heretics know when the watch was weakest. They could use their tunnels with impunity and prepare their ambush. The timetable has not changed, you see. Of course, it will be changed now, but the heretics may have already been in position. House Dendrare must send reinforcements, even if it means withdrawing the knights from Stone Vigil. I see no other way to safeguard the lives of our allies. Cyber, did you hear about what Microsoft may be doing? That they'll let you take a physical game and copy the game from the disc onto the console to make it a digital copy. But you still keep the physical game. Have you heard about that? That might be a solution. Ooh, looks like we're setting up for Shiva now. Time is of the essence, Scotbot. While my knights make ready to depart, the heretics may take our allies in Snowcloak unawares. Superior training and equipment will avail them not if they are cut down ere their swords are drawn. But all is not yet lost. If you leave now, there may be still some time to warn them. Make haste, I beseech you! Fly to Snowcloak and tell Sir Emeric everything we have discovered. It's really nice, because what that does is allow for much better load times. And, let's just assume for a second that Microsoft, like, if that is true, will not do anything to screw over those who, like, copy their games, right? Like, if you copy the game once, it's locked to that console, and you can't, like, recopy the game again or something, right? Like, you can't do anything like that. Like, if you give the game to someone else, they can't copy it, and it's just a dead disc. Assuming they don't do anything like that, right? And it's just a way to copy games onto digital console while still having the disc, which I'm okay with. Hell, I've done that on my computer with my PS1, PS2, Game Boy stuff. I basically did that. I have basically done that. So I don't have a problem with that. I still have the discs. I still have my games. You know, I just copied them to my computer. I perfectly okay with that. But yeah, assuming Microsoft does not screw you over in any way from that, that is a better sign. However, Microsoft consoles are going up in price as of now. Their next console, which is Project Helix, I believe they said, is the project name. Who knows? It could all... Well, with that rumor, it will also be physical as well. But I just think it's a stepping stone. And also, Microsoft has freaking Game Pass. And because of Game Pass, they basically trained the customers not to buy games for Xbox. Just buy Game Pass. That's what they train people. Like, game sales for Xbox are the lowest out of the three, because they've trained people to just use Game Pass. Given that you have a Switch 2, and now a high-end PC, you're set unless PlayStation decides they want to unvault all their legacy IPs in the future, which is most likely not going to happen. Right. Unvaulting their IPs and make new games would be the reason to buy a PlayStation 6, even if it's only digital. But after a certain point, you gotta be like, is it even worth it? Do I really want to support this? Games are already games are more expensive. They cost more too. They cost more to make, and they're more expensive to buy. And also when they don't need to be more expensive to make. And you don't own the digital games. Sony has proven time and time again that they can delete your library at any time for any reason. Yeah. Scottbot, this is a welcome surprise. Perhaps the only one thus far. As you can see, we have not yet uncovered any hidden... You have my gratitude. Truth be told, we suspected the heretics might be plotting such an attack. Now that we have confirmation, I shall place my knights on high alert. Has Commander Lelvir been informed? The Braves must be made aware. Oh, God. Have you informed Alphanod? Turn around. Yeah, I have a Switch 2 as well, Cyber, but, like, other than exclusives, Nintendo's, like, set up that stepping stone as well. Again, game key cards are the stepping stone to make games more digital. Also, actually giving an incentive to buy digitally by making digital purchases $10 cheaper than their physical counterparts is a incentive to buy digitally. You know, it's almost like it's their version of a digital only console. You know, kind of like the digital only PS5 version, basically. I can't help but think that Nintendo's using that not to give a cheaper deal because, hey, we're not manufacturing the physical stuff, so it's a little bit cheaper. With everything going on, it almost comes off as, we want to train you to buy digital stuff more so we can stop printing physical media. Maybe that's me being blackpilled, but, you know, when everyone else is basically doing it. It must be here. I'm certain of it. Why else would they go to such lengths to defend Snowcloak? 'Tis but a pity this discovery comes when our enemy has us at such a disadvantage. Forewarned though we may be, the heretics know the terrain far better than we. I dare not think how many are watching us even at this very moment. Confound it! This is all wrong. Iceheart has us scrambling to save our own skins, when we should rightfully be straining every sinew to find her, and stop this damnable summoning. There she is! Come here, girl. Oh, it's Ida. That was close. They didn't hurt you, did they? Only my pride, Ida. There will be others nearby. You must see they are given a similarly warm welcome. Commander Lavier. Lavier? I don't know. There has been a development, sir. Together with the Temple Knights, we have secured the entrances to some half-dozen tunnels. Oh my god. After spotting the enemy breaking the surface. But that is not all, sir. We think that one of them may be important. Certainly the heretics near flung themselves upon our swords to defend it. Aha! Just as I suspected. Amongst this warren of tunnels lies the entrance to Iceheart's lair. Some of the others were going in. A moment, Alphinaud. The tunnel in question is barely wide enough for 2 men abreast. We cannot say with any certainty where it leads, much less what is waiting for us there. Furthermore, we have no way of knowing how many heretics are still lurking here on the surface. What if they were to converge on this point after we entered the tunnel? For all we know, we could be funneling our forces to a trap. I take your point. If the tunnel is indeed as narrow as you say, greater numbers would mean more of a hindrance than a help. Should we encounter difficulty, our own allies would become an obstacle to escape. Ahem. Change of plans. While we rendezvous with Sir Aymeric and keep the heretics at bay here, you will go wherever that tunnel leads. If you find Iceheart at the end of it, do not let her escape. You venture into the unknown, so see that you are prepared for anything. I will suggest you call upon your allies, though not too many, or Papa Limo will sulk. And there... The entrance to the tunnel, sir? It's just over here. Had we not seen the heretics breaking the surface, we would have never noticed it. Per Sir Americ's orders, we shall stand guard outside. Please be aware that even should you encounter significant resistance, we cannot leave our post. Now we got access to Snowcloak Dungeon. Finally. It's been teasing me all this time. And I could go in with NPCs. That's shocking. I wasn't expecting that. I know, well, actually, I mentioned earlier, I got burned with the actual player characters that one time. Didn't actually fight the boss because they just went on ahead and fought it instead. So, my rule is NPCs. It's slower, yes, but I get to actually experience it. And also, I'm DPS. Who knows how long I'd be waiting. I do like ice caves, though, in games. Not counting the ice physics, but ice caves themselves are nice visual, you know? Like, I like snow areas, I like ice caves, but it's the ice physics that's always the problem. Also, I'm synced down to level 50. It's nice actually having tough enemies now. Oh, not what I meant. I want this. I want that. Oh. There we go. Perfect. There, I actually have a move that hits multiple enemies. There we go. Perfect. You know, this is a level 50 dungeon I can use NPCs for. This might be a better spot to grind for materia. Because the other area I was using that's, you know, in here, I forget what it's called. The highest level I can be is level 49. So I actually lose access to certain skills. This will probably be my grinding spot. If I need materia. So yeah, Cyber, if you're still listening, is there any PS3 or Vita stuff that you need to make purchases for before the thing shuts down? We'll just do this the entire time. Doom Spike. Some PS1 classics. You need those on the Vita and PS3? I remember, what was it, like 10 years ago? Or less than that? When they first announced that they were shutting down the PS3 before they backpedaled. I made sure to get a lot of my purchases made for DLC. You only have PS3? Okay. Well, here's the thing, Cyber. If you have a PS3, it can always play PS1 discs anyway. But, you know, it's probably cheaper to buy the digital one, isn't it? But yeah, I made sure to buy a bunch of DLC. I think I still need to buy a few things, though. So I might make sure to go take care of that. One of the games that I will probably not buy DLC for is, Little Big Planet stuff. Because it's basically all costumes and there's way too much. Like, I'm not spending all that money for costumes. Maybe I'll buy a couple that I would normally want. But, no. I'm not spending all that money for costumes. But I think the only game I need to buy DLC for now is Tales of Xillia. And it's just costumes, sure, but there isn't that many. So I could kind of just get that done. I made sure to buy all the other DLC for the games that I had. Basically when that was first announced. PS1 physical is 5 to 50 times more expensive depending on the game. That is also true. So if you just want the game, just to be able to play it. I do agree. Just having a version of it to play is nice. It's kind of why I bought before the Wii U shut down. It's kind of why I bought stuff like Tactics Ogre. No, it was Ogre Battle. My bad. And like basically every Harvest Moon on there. It's the reason why I bought all those. Because I knew it was cheaper, and a lot of those games can be very expensive, so having a version is a good idea. But can you only get them on PS3, Cyber? Or is there a version on PS4 that you can get that would be better? Like, do you have to get it on PS3? Vagrant Story, Legend of Dragoon, Symphony of the Night, at least. Well, Symphony of the Night, there's the modern collection on PS4 that comes with. It's the collection of Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood. So you can at least go that route if you want. It's still Sony exclusive for some reason. Some of these might be good. Oh, you only have a PlayStation 3. You don't even have... You don't have a 4? Or... Well, okay. Good to know. That answers some of my questions, I guess. Legend of Dragoon, good choice. Very great game. Vagrant Story, I have not played. I hear good things about it. You know what? Vagrant Story might be a game I should consider picking up at some point. I own a physical copy of Legend of Dragoon, so I'm not worried about that. Yeah, I own a physical copy of that. I actually thought about maybe streaming it one day. It's a big game, though, so... Again, it's more of a one day, possibly. Retro achievements as well. Vagrant Story. Isn't there another digital version you can get? Not on... that's on PlayStation 4. Ads are starting soon. Maybe if I get to a spot where I'm done with the fight, I'll just wait for the ads. Yeah, Symphony of the Night, I have a physical copy, plus I have the PS4 Rondo of Blood collection thing. Legend of Dragoon, I have a physical copy. I've copied it to my computer as well. So it's just, it would be Vagrant Story. Out of the ones you listed, anyway. Ads. Okay. I shall wait for the ads to finish. Even though I probably wouldn't want to play it on PlayStation 3, let me look up Vagrant Story. If there's another version. Hell, like, I haven't played a lot of the games I played on the... I downloaded on the Wii U. I just made sure to buy them, just so I have a copy. Vagrant Story releases. Yeah, it's the game I'm thinking of. It's a game I should consider. Can we get a list of releases? Hey, Orphan. Ad should be done. Why are you screaming? Vagrant... Okay, hold on. Vagrant Story... all releases? I want to see where you could buy Vagrant Story. Because you have the energy. Ooh. I wish you have the energy for it. Digital re-release. So there's a PS3 version. There's a PSP version. There's a Vita version. Wait. Cyber? There were currently no official remakes, remasters, or releases for modern consoles like 4, 5, Xbox, or Steam. Okay, it's a good thing you brought that up, Cyber, because it sounds like Vagrant Story is only available on PS3 for digital re-releases, as well as Vita. Vita and PSP. Good thing you said something, because I would not have looked that up. Oh, yeah, what's going on, Orphan? Said you got the energy, but I'm pretty sure you gotta work today, right? Yeah, work. I fully get it. It's not gonna be your 2 weeks, though. That's starting next week, right? What are you gonna do on your 2 weeks? Other than sleep? You gonna stream more? You gonna play that hamster game? Take care of Smelly a bit more? Or was it Stinky? I forget. No, I think it was Smelly. Be crazy? Ooh. Go wild. Let's get my power boost. The one benefit of playing with NPCs is that I can fully explore the map on my own without having to worry about delaying other people. Yeah, Orphan, I'm pretty sure you already saw us talk about the PlayStation 5 shutdowns or no discs being made anymore, stuff like that. Cyber and I were just kind of talking about, like, is there anything on PS3, Vita, and PSP that needs to be purchased beforehand? And he brought up Vagrant Story, which... crap, maybe I need to make sure to buy that. Because there's no way I'm getting a physical copy of that. I don't think that's happening. Orphan with the 3-stream streak. Thank you for showing up 3 times. That's very impressive. That's impressive. Don't worry. You'll catch up to Crimson's 170. It will happen, I swear. Again, Cyber, do you know... oh, I should not have stayed there. Do you know if there are, let's just say, ways to find that if people uploaded, let's just say, the DLC for PS3 games somewhere? Because going forward, if you want to get, you know, DLC for games on the PS3 when the store closes, there's no way to officially get it anymore. Oh, I think I might be dead. Nope. Okay, I'm good. I mean, you would have to mod your PS3 at that point, but hey. That would be the time to do that, if you want that. Will you, though? I don't know. I'm sure there are ways. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping there are. Bracelet of casting, I guess I already got that. Antique helm? Okay. Because going forward, after the PS3 store shut down, like, I mean, yes, you can still buy a physical copy, right? But you won't get the DLC for it. So at that point, you would want to mod your PS3 and add the DLC that way. That would be the way to handle it. And that goes for things like 3DS, Wii U as well, because you can't get DLC for those anymore. Oh no. I'm surrounded. I'm so scared. Wait, Cyber, can you think of any other, PlayStation 3 thing that's only on PlayStation 3 that would need to be considered? At least digitally, I should say. I mean, you brought up Vagrant Story, and yes, there is physical copies of that, but I don't want to pay, like, what, $200 for that? PS3 exclusive digital onlines. I mean, they're probably not all worth it, but probably some of them are. Can you think of any? Off the top of your head? It's probably something that you would have to look up, right? Yeah, gotta pull up a list. Ooh. The Snowclops. It's a Cyclops, but snowy. Okay. Are we done with battles? Kind of. Okay. Oh, hey, Hawkhorn Dog. Call Jaras? Is that a PS3 exclusive game? Digitally? I don't know. Okay, now that it's on my mind, I'm taking a second. Vagrant Story. How much is that going for physically? A complete copy is $100. $100. Greatest Hits is $80. To be honest, I was expecting more. Hope that one dude, don't... Oh my god. Okay, hold on. Hope that one dude don't sing a song for the U.S. cause that dude has cause like every team but Mexico does. Hopefully get 50 goals if they get 2. Yeah, you better hope, right? Why can't it be sunshine and rainbows and just change their minds and be like, it's okay, we won't do that. It won't happen, Orphan. It will not happen. It's going to happen. You will own nothing, and you will be happy. So, Hot Corn Dog, I think you made the smart decision to mod your to like hack your PS3, right? Sounds like at this point that's a smart idea. Which is kind of funny, Hot Corn Dog, because we kind of had this conversation not long ago. But your sunshines and rainbows. Sony says, fuck your sunshines and rainbows. You want your sunshines and rainbows? It's gonna be all digital. Digital sunshine. Digital rainbows. Not the real thing. You don't own it either. We're wrong. I mean, that's the thing, Hot Corn Dog. We kind of knew that would probably be the right move at some point. It's just kind of funny how soon it would be the right move. I mean, I already hacked my Wii before, right? Just so I could copy my GameCube games over, and eventually the Wii games, but I'm not adding those on yet. Takes up a lot of space, you know? And I'm thinking of, like, finding some of the WiiWare only games that I missed out on and get them on my Wii, you know? I can't buy them anymore. That's not as good as smelling the sunshine and rainbows. Wait, that's just drugs. Oh, okay. Let's go, Fenrir. So yeah, Tales of Xillia DLC I need to consider. Now I need to consider Vagrant Story. If I want to play that at some point, it's probably going to be that version. Oh, I was in range. Shit. Oops. Damn it. I picked the wrong one. Now I'm DA'd. Could be worse. Though. Could be worse. I gotta start this fight over. I mean, this fight so far isn't that bad. Could be far, far worse. Okay, so it looks like the first one you could probably just hide behind any of them. Let's make sure I'm out of the way. What do you mean I'm frozen? Ah, come on. I thought I was out of range. Oh, well. Okay. Get that. Area of... Not area of effect. Sap? Whatever. Damage over time. That's the word. Now here, we need to go by this version. This one doesn't break. Then we start running. I waited too long before trying to attack him again. That's what happened. Sounds good. Oh yeah, no. Okay, read that already. The 1,000-year storm! That was a very short 1,000-year storm. Oh, it's the Heavensward War. See, he's setting up for the DLC. The first expansion. Which one am I going to? Right here. That was easy. Okay. And there we go. My stream audio is generally pretty low right now. You're at max volume, headphones, so you can barely hear me? Or the game? Kinda wish someone told me that! If it's the game, I could turn that up. Okay, both? Well... Bah. Okay. Shroom can hear me fine? Well, I've maxed out the mic. It can sometimes go into red. Bah. I've upped the both. We'll see how it goes. If I'm too loud, let me know. Cyber says he checked YouTube and my stream is low volume. You're on mobile. Huh. Wonder if that's a factor. I'm also just kind of a quiet person normally, so that could be part of it. But if the game volume was low, that's a... yeah. That's a yeah. And Orphan's just going deaf. No, how will you hear me? How will you hear my Aussie accent whenever I go into one? And streams also on mobile. Streams are only max or no volume. There's no in between. Orphan's just here for the vibes. Fair.
Warrior of light.
Ooh, voice cutscene.
Yes, I know who you are, and you know who I am. I was given the name Eorzea, but I earned the name Iceheart.
Can't hear me? No!
This endless cycle of hatred, of bloodshed, of sorrow. You would see it continue, O noble warrior of light.
Wait, so if Orphan can't hear me, then that means I can spam all the Aussie accents I want, and she won't know it, and she won't care. I could be as stereotypical Aussie accent as I want, and Orphan can't say anything about it.
I would not. I will not. I will bring an end to this war between dragon and man, no matter the cost.
What do you mean, Shroob? Gonna put some shrimp on the barbie? Gonna get my Sheila over, and we're gonna go some hunting. Sorry, I don't know Aussie lingo that well. G'day, Shroob.
You will come to understand.
Joe Ripper.
What
There we go.
We do for the greater good.
The greater good.
For Eorzea. For
See, Orphan can't say anything about it. Poor dingo ate my sister. Ah, poor Sheila. No, a dingo ate my sister. Poor Sheila. How'd you hear that, Orphan, if you couldn't hear me? Something tells me you're lying. Oh, I don't know. Took longer than expected. What news, Scottbot? So Iceheart is but a pseudonym. That's not that matters. That she managed to escape is regrettable. But from your description of that beast, you did well to come close as you did. In any case, now that you have cleared a path, the Temple Knights can begin to survey the tomes in the earnest. Mayhaps they will even find a route past the ice wall. Wouldn't that do wonders for their fight against the heretics? The Crystal Braves will certainly share the credit for it. 12 be praised, Scottbot. We may yet turn this situation to our advantage. Assuming we stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva. Of course. Needless to say, our fellow Scions have not been idle. Minfilia and Eorzea have been busy pursuing the archives of House Fortel, gathering what information they can on Shiva. Which reminds me, if you were intending to trudge back to Camp Dragonhead to report on the day's events, don't. The Minfilia should be here any minute. I can only assume some people enjoy subjecting themselves to this cold. I think I was quoting a little bit from Dragon Ball Z Abridged. Do I know what I'm talking about? No. That's also why I don't go into Aussie accent that much. Sure is a nice day today. It's freezing here. I have no idea what Jew Ripa means, though. And that's something that I caught in Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. I'm just calling her Minfilia. I don't care. You come to us straight from the archives of House Fortem. I trust your time there proved useful or fruitful. My God. Would that it had. Eorzea and I scored countless texts, but what we found was of questionable veracity. Accounts of Shiva's life and deeds are sparse and contradictory, only agreeing upon one point. She lay down with a dragon. Oh my. The gravest of all sins, according to the Ishgardian faith. Oops. Yet in the eyes of Iceheart's followers, this was a holy act, the blessed union of man and dragon. How such a thing could even be possible is quite another question. Suffice it to say, I very much doubt that we'll be able to find a useful answer in the archives of the House Fartab. By the way, speaking of accents, want to hear a funny story? Sure. Sure. Also, Shiva had sex with Bahamut. Confirmed. Much knowledge has been lost over the centuries, though in this case, one wonders if by the circumstance or design. You say that Iceheart took a moment to plead her case prior to escaping, did you not? Viewed without prejudice, most would agree that bringing an end to an endless war serves the greater good. The greater good. I think Sir Aymeric might take issue with her methods. I do not care if a few stragglers manage to escape. Until the sappers confirm that the tunnel is safe, the men are not to search it. Yes, Lord Commander. Xander, you were doing a practice with your character for the new D&D campaign. Okay. Your character is German, so you're doing a German accent, but Xander kept doing a Russian type accent. Your brain kept trying to copy him. So it couldn't do your character's accents because you kept stealing his. Keep going German, but becoming more Russian. Some people think they could outsmart me. Maybe. I have yet to meet someone who can outsmart Bullet. I don't know how I'm gonna roleplay this in the campaign, true. You pursue your foes with less zeal than I have expected, Sir Aymeric. Lest you misunderstand, I do not deny that our enemy has given us good reason to be prudent. I merely meant, you being a man of faith, that I had expected a certain single-mindedness. After all, it was not by the will of Halon that your ancestors came to this land. Why, they took up arms against the Dravians. What would they have done in your position, I wonder? Love how you look away for a bit, and a new episode of Kamen Rider is out. Just really hope that the next season someone casts like the current one. They're bringing a lot more and more Kamen Rider to the States, aren't they? That's kind of nice. There are those who believe that the faith is a renunciation of free will. That unquestioning devotion is required of all those who live a life of service to the Fury. Such righteous fervor may well serve a knight on the front line, less so a leader of men. We are all at liberty to interpret the scriptures as we will. I choose to believe that the Fury would value the lives of her followers over the death of her enemies. But I would not presume to speak for the Knights of Eld. 'Twas a different time, nay, a different era. The scripture tells us only so much. Would that it told us more. We got ads. I shall wait. Imagine having ads, though. I can't. You shouldn't either. But hey, it's up to you. I will wait for the ads. Imagine, yes. Imagine having ads. I can't. Shroob, can you imagine having ads? Dude, you can't even, I know, right? By the way, Shroob, I brought this up yesterday, but I think I need to hear you do a British accent next time I'm around. Since I'm forced to do a British accent because of the football game. It's relevant. You can do that. I mean, British shouldn't be that difficult, right? My problem is I can't keep the British accent for that long. I keep losing it. I'm not that good at the British accent. I can't keep it consistent. Ad should be done. That man is awfully pragmatic for the servant of the Holy See. A welcome trait at the negotiating table, to be sure. Less so when one's enemies are making ready to harness the power of a god. In choir, your teacher would say, get your British on. Because you have to sing with long vowels in choir. She had a sign that said that too. I'm trying to understand the correlation, Shroob. Yep, he did not truly believe that Iceheart's plan can succeed. Truth be told, I too remain somewhat skeptical. Shiva was real, a living, breathing woman. Of that there can be no doubt. In this respect, she differs from every other figure to have been summoned, each of whom was worshipped as a god. What about good King Moogle Mog the 12th? Wouldn't Mog be kind of similar? If you sing with noble vowels, it sounds chopped. Long vowels sound more elegant. And the Brits speak with long vowels. Oh, okay. The sole exception being a good King Moogle Mog the 12th. Oh, she brought it up. The myth made manifest in response to the fervent supplications of the Moogle's Guard. Saint Shiva may differ, but what of the heretics? They are a tribe of outcasts at war with a mighty nation, who yearn for the resurrection of one who embodies their beliefs. If that's not placing one's faith in a higher power, then what is? So you got this. Okay, nice. Crystals and conviction, Minfilia. They have them both in abundance. Can that truly all be that's required? My survey team has concluded a preliminary analysis of Aetheryte Iceheart used to escape. They believe that she teleported to another Aetheryte, somewhere not far to the west. Despite the apparent proximity of the second Aetheryte, however, they have been wholly unable to detect its presence directly. Unless Iceheart has some means to mask its signal, I can only presume she had it destroyed to prevent us from following her. Without the means to teleport as she did, we have no choice but to search for an alternate route. Most likely a tunnel. I'm assuming one exists. Let's not give up on teleportation just yet. One of our colleagues in Charlian may be able to assist us. I pray that you are right. I dare not think how long it will take us to survey the entire tunnel system. While Minfilia looks into our Aetheryte problem, I would like to request your assistance with another matter. The third unit is currently tracking the remnants of the heretic force, which attacked us. However, the search goes poorly, despite our numbers. Korthius is vast, and Iceheart's followers know the terrain far better than we. Your knowledge of this region may serve to hasten the process. The sooner we capture Iceheart's followers, the sooner we can press them for their leader's whereabouts. Also, though it is admittedly a selfish request, I feel that my braves would benefit immensely from working alongside you. While we have our share of veterans, we also have more than a few less experienced recruits, many of whom look up to you, in case you were not aware. Good. I knew you would understand. You, House, can appraise you for the details. When the task is complete, come and find me at the observatorium. Captain Ilbird and I are meeting there to discuss the latest developments in his investigation. The Temple Knight shall hold Snowcloak in our absence. Let's leave them to their work. Ours is more pressing. Shroob, I gotta ask, you've heard my British accent. How's my British? I don't think I've asked about that. How's my British? There you are, Scottbot. Commander Lelevere instructed me to wait for you. Your assistance is most welcome, believe me. Most of the third hail from Ulda, and for a man accustomed to the feel of the sand beneath his boots, the crunch of the snow can be rather discouraging. But to the matter of hand, nary a moment ago, I received word that the heretics we've seen have been spotted making for Danithan Pass. My braves are already in pursuit, and I should be grateful to you for you to join them. I myself shall be taking part in the hunt. Never let it be said that I do not earn my coin. I have been ignored. Ask opinion about British quality voice. Gets ignored. I joke. Probably just busy. I still find it funny that both Crimson and Badcap were like, well, we would request Scottbot, but your British voice is kind of already there. And it's just like, I mean, there's a difference between the two, but it's still kind of funny. Basically saying that the British are posh. The Tharb's balls. My ankles is on fire. Caught my boot on a rock or something and twisted it as I fell. The others went on ahead through Dunifin Pass. Hurry and you might catch up. If you aren't sure where to go, look for tracks. This snow is fresh, so they shouldn't be hard to find. Where am I going? Boulder Downs. But yeah, I'm actually surprised Vagrant's story is only $100. $80 if you get the other version, what was it? The PlayStation Selects or whatever it is. PlayStation Hits. I was expecting more. But, let's be honest, I could probably pay like, what, $15 most for the other one? That'd be better. Digital PS3 version. Have that for now. Have a version of Vagrant Story. I don't know how much PS1 classic games on PS3 are, though. Scion, what are you doing here? The heretics... I'm not sure. There was a great scaled beast and... Yu Hase. I think he went east on his own. The heretics split up. So we did too. I should have Oogump help me out. I don't think I can do that now, though. Let's get a power boost. How embarrassing. I was so intent on following the heretics' tracks that I almost failed to notice they had double back. Almost, mind you. One tried to sneak up behind me and got a knife out in the gut for his troubles. I thought myself alone, so I started searching the dead man's knapsack for anything of interest. And lo and behold, before his friends found me, I came upon this. Withdraw in groups of 3 or less to the observatorium. Give the signal and wait. The merchant will be watching. Be late, and be left for dead. Speaks for itself, does it not? They can't possibly mean to rendezvous inside the place, so we should restrict our search to the surrounding areas. Let me rephrase that. You should restrict your search to the wilderness around the observatorium. I will need more than a moment's rest to recover from these wounds. First of all, these guys are like level 50. I can train Oogump. Probably, I think. I keep forgetting to summon my Chocobo. through with listening to your excuses. We leave now. How? The woods are crawling with those bluecoats, and the knights are searching every wagon that passes through the gates. Oh my god. Well, stay with him, then, if you think you'll fare any better. Now, there's no need for that. There are places like this in my homeland. Sacred snow-capped peaks where blood must not be shed. Oh, yet your lands ever thirst for the blood of the fallen, and by your deeds it has drunk deep. No, I have done no wrong. None but meet in secrets with heretics. Deny it all you will. We shall have the truth from you yet. Inquisitors are not the only ones skilled in the art of interrogation. Damn it all. Fancy meeting you here, Scotbot. I presume your work with the Third brought you hither. What a tangled web. Lest you wonder, we came not for the heretics, but for the merchant who has been conspiring with them. He came to our attention during the course of our investigation into the Ivy. It beggars belief, I know, but it seems our favorite Garlean spy may have been providing assistance to Iceheart. Were it not for the efforts of Lady Yugiri and her shinobi, we may never have discovered this connection. Master Alphinaud is too kind. I fear my people and I have done little to aid you in your search for the spy. We long to strike back against the Empire and weaken their influence in this land to prevent the tragedy which befell Doma from reoccurring. The days ahead and the work they promise will require a very peculiar set of skills. Skills I am fortunate enough to process. If you will allow it, I will accompany you until the investigation is complete. That's a most generous offer, Lady Yugiri, and one which I gladly accept. Thank you. Though I may disappear for a time, know that I shall never be far, and shall always be watching. Comforting thought? Come, Scotbot, let us wait inside for Captain Earbird, and to return and deliver his report. Oh, the quest name is for the greater good. The greater good. Where am I going? Over here. Captain Earbird seems confident that the merchant's resolve would swiftly crumble when pressed. If so, we should have new information ere long. As to whether it will bring us any closer to learning the Ivy's identity, I would rather not say. Given our adversary's cunning, I shall consider us fortunate if we are spared another wild dodo chase. The gods know we have more than enough to occupy our time as it is. Captain Earbird, your report, if you will. Aye, Commander. Firstly, with regard to the heretic we captured, I regret to say that the man could not tell us Knight what we did not already know of Shiva. We have since handed him over to the Ishgardian authorities. Henceforth, the Holy See will pursue the matter independently. Our inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, have proven more fruitful. We have ascertained the channel by which the heretics acquire their information on the shipment routes. Go on. You recall the flame we first identified as being with the Ivy's employ. From him we were able to trace a trail of conspirators, each taking us closer to his master. Alas, the trail came to an abrupt end. Fearing that the investigation had been compromised, we took the necessary step of detaining all suspected of conspiracy. There were 5 on our list, including a flame station in Revenant's Toll. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad. the particulars of which would share with benefactors, thereby ensuring that the needs did not go unfulfilled. By virtue of his role, he was privy to the details of all shipments bound for the settlement. Needless to say, that included those originated from House Fortem. I know the P is silent in that one, but I don't remember how it's pronounced. He knew the precise route the caravan would take, and he sold that information to a merchant. I think I can guess which one. None other. With a little encouragement, he soon confessed to knowingly aiding and abetting the heretics. Well, that is one mystery solved, at least. But what of the Ivy? Are we any closer to prizing off his mask? I dare say we are, Commander. Our relentless pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In a desperate bid to cover his tracks, the Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available only to high-ranking members of the Immortal Flames. If you consider, then, that our investigation is known to barely a handful of them, the field of suspects is greatly narrowed. You mean to say that the agent is among the Raubon's innermost circle? Someone who has been with him since the Immortal Flames' establishment? 'Tis the most plausible explanation. The infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding, with the groundwork for the act being laid beforehand. To slip into a position of authority unremarked, and remain above suspicion all these years. I too was surprised, though I really should not have been. Of the three grand companies, Ulda's was ever more vulnerable to infiltration. Both Limsa and Gridania have had long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the formation of the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder. To all intents and purposes, it was the same people, loyal ones, mind, under the same leadership. Only the banner was different. Not so the Flames. Ulda's military was made up despite desperate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies that answered only to their own paymasters. Hardly an ideal environment to which to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Raubon faced founding the Immortal Flames are well known. Even after he had convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the cost, there remained the small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks. Indeed, and given the pressing nature of the Imperial threat, that meant recruiting every passing sellsword. Amidst the chaos of its founding, it would have been child's play to infiltrate the company. A good deal easier than now, The Immortal Flames have ever been caught between conflicting interests, the public and the private. Though the monasteries ultimately agreed to support the organization's founding, 'twas not out of charity that they did so, but simple self-preservation. Had Nail von Darnus' ambitions been less apocalyptic, you may be sure that they would never have risked supplying Raubon with an army. 'Tis but a wonder why they did not attempt to extinguish the flames the moment the danger had passed. Returning to the present. Even as we speak, our Dolmen allies are shadowing several high-ranking flames. Any one could be with the Ivy. Desiring to deal a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from them ere long. Very good. Pray continue your investigation with the first. Meanwhile, I have the second to attend to the unrest. The third can join the fourth in inspecting crystal shipments. If they notice anything unusual, I want to know about it. If Shiva is summoned in a like manner like the other primals, the heretics will be looking for further supplies. Understood, Commander. And I shall send word to Ser Emmerich informing him of our success in identifying the heretics and betters. Hopefully the information will be of some use to the Ishgardians. It is time, Commander. Yes, I am aware. An emergency council of the Alliance leadership has been called. There have been developments in Garlemald, it would seem. Why here, elf boy? Yes, it's Alphanald. Do you like Alphanald, troop? As commander of the Crystal Braves, my presence has been requested. I would have you accompany me, Scuttbot. As the realm's stoutest champion, 'tis only meet that you be present in our present for the discussion. Oh, and the Minfilia has already given her consent, lest you worry. Shroob, I think I asked earlier, but I think you've been busy or didn't hear. Are there any purchases on PS3 and Vita that you kind of have to keep in mind to purchase before it shuts down? You have a Vita, so you have to keep that in mind too. And I think PSP is also counted, but it wasn't named. It's because PSP and PS3 are linked, so. Like me, you are doubtless eager to conclude our business with Iceheart. But until another path to her sanctum is found, she will remain beyond our reach. Minfilia and the Archons are sparing no effort to secure an alternate route. Until such time they succeed, I suggest we give some thought to the realm's other problems. I shall go on ahead to Gridania in readiness for the coming council. Meet me in Nofika's altar, and we shall make our way to the Lotus Stand together. You jailbroke your Vita. Fair. Might scroll through the PS3 stuff just out of curiosity. Yeah, that's something I'm going to have to look into, Shroob. Because I know there's got to be some PS3 digital exclusive games that are only on there and nowhere else. Okay, we have to go to Gridania. I could just teleport for free. So I do have to look through that. Cyber brought up a few PS1 classics. Legend of Dragoon, Symphony of the Night, and Vagrant Story that he was going to consider getting. But I have 2 out of the 3. Hell, 2 of the 3 are I have physical copies. Symphony of the Night I also have PS4. But he brought a Vagrant Story. And I looked up digital re-releases, and it's stuck on the PS3 in PSP. Maybe Vita as well. I don't know, but it's stuck in that era. There hasn't been a digital re-release of Vagrant Story past that, from what I understand. And a physical copy is, like, at most $100. So, yeah, I might be picking that up. So, yeah, that is something I'm going to have to go through. But yeah, Shrew, last time they were threatening to shut down PS3 stores, I was trying to buy a lot of the DLC for games I already had. I think I got most of them. All that's left that I know of is the Tales of games for Tales of Xillia, and I think they're just costumes, but that's what I would be getting. Also, Xenogears PlayStation 1 Classics, and I don't know if it has a re-release later. You know what? That's a good point. I should pick that up too. I know that's an expensive game. Now that we're on that conversation, how much is Xenogears? So let's assume for a second that Xenogears has not been digitally re-released anywhere else, and right now we can only get it on PlayStation 3. A complete copy of Xenogears is $172. If you want the greatest hits version, it's $135. Yeah, definitely gonna make sure to make that purchase. It feels like I'd probably be making more purchases of PS1 games on PlayStation 3 just to get a official copy. But yeah, definitely need to double check if there is some sort of other re-release for some of them. Because if there is, I'm more okay with that. Like Symphony of the Night. Like, if you have a PS4, you could just get that collection. My thanks for coming, Scuttbot. When you are ready, speak with the conjurer yonder. She will show us to the Lotus Stand. Does Resident Evil 6 have any DLC? Does anyone know? Because I bought that game last year. I haven't popped it in, but if it has DLC, I need to consider it. Also, God of War 3.
And we must discuss the implications.
First of all, voice cutscene. Also, does God of War 3 have DLC? I don't think it would, but, you know, I gotta check those two. Loose one, complete 170, new 409. Yep. I just brought up the 172.
The rumors are true then? The War of Succession is ended?
It is. A new emperor reigns in Garlemald.
Who?
The birth and all too rapid expansion of the Garlean Empire is commonly attributed to the strategic brilliance of Solus Zosgalvis, yet he did not rule alone. Several members of the royal household also distinguished themselves during his reign. Nevertheless, it was the eldest son who stood to inherit the throne, until his most untimely passing.
I thought us fortunate when I learned that the Emperor had died without naming a successor.
Someone that's clearly evil. Also, he kind of has Golbez's armor. That's some Golbez armor if I've ever seen it.
The Garlean Empire had died with him.
Twas the grandson and his uncle who had the strongest claims, was it not?
Indeed, yet claims count for little without the power to assert them. High Legatus Varus Ye Galvus is a respected military leader, not so his uncle.
Getting ads soon, so I'll make sure to pause when that happens. Imagine having ads.
Young Varus has torn the crown from his uncle's grasp and taken his place ahead of the Empire.
Cut the head, a new one will sprout. Okay, we got ads.
Given the troubled nature of his succession, the new emperor will require time to seal his grip on power. Yet have no doubt but that he shall, for there are none left with strength enough to oppose him.
I'll let the ads play before continuing. Not much I can really do. It's not like I can shut off the... I can't skip ads, still. Twitch won't let me. I mean, I should double check next time, but I'm pretty sure Twitch still won't let me skip ads. Or delay some, I should say. Just gonna sit here for a little bit. We got 40 seconds of ads. But imagine having ads. I can't. I can't imagine. Okay. "15 seconds, okay. Alright. And ads should be done. Okay. I'll let this play. Imagine having ads, though.
Since the success of Operation Archon, the remnants of the 14th Legion and the forces occupying Alamigo have done naught but fortify their positions. But you can be sure they'll be ready to march on us again, if their Emperor gives the word.
When, not if. They say this Varus was so set upon Eorzean annexation that he spoke out against the Meteor Project.
Plainly, the new Emperor's intentions are of great concern to us all. I propose that we set aside the Cartano dispute for the present, and discuss what measures the Alliance might take to prepare for a resumption of hostilities with Garlemald. Moreover, I move that we re-examine the question of how our former allies in Ishgard might be persuaded to retake their place at our side. Could Eorzea but stand as one, 'twould deal a grave blow to our enemies' ambitions.
Well, I suppose we should be grateful that they have finally acknowledged the inevitability of Imperial attack. Who knows? They may even do something about it. If only the leaders of Ishgard would follow their example and stop hiding behind their gates, praying for the coming storm to pass them by. But that is a discussion for another time. At present, I am more concerned by the fact that the Alliance's mooted preparations will be made known to the Garleans many moons before their coming. So long as the Ivy eludes our grasp, no secret is safe.
Currently, I'm kind of pulling up a list of like PS1 games that are on PS3, just kind of getting a look through, which there's a decent amount. But to me, it's more of like, is there a... I have to look through these and be like, okay, is there another way to play this game somewhere else in a more modern way? Because then I can kind of skip it. Like, I see Dino Crisis here, but I can skip it, Dino Crisis 1 and 2, because they're on Steam and GOG. So, like, some of them I could probably afford to just hold off. But, you know, stuff to take care of. Stuff to consider, you know? It will not have escaped your notice that the nations of Eorzea are no nearer to being of one purpose, despite their protestations to the contrary. Plainly, the threat of the resurgent Garlemald is not enough to stir them. And the reason for this? Deep-rooted mistrust among the citizenry. The nation's leaders can come to all the understanding they like, but their unity means little unless to the common folk. Take the Lumnesians, for instance. Though Admiral Merylvreb outlawed piracy over a decade ago, foreigners still picture the nation as a heavy grog swirling, wooden-legged cutthroats. And likewise, the Gridanians are mocked as hermits who talk to trees, and the Udanians scorn as swindlers who worship coin. Not that such sentiments are entirely without grounds, of course. Take that pillar of Udanian society, Talajid Adeleji, for example. But that is beside the point. The fact that is that people are wary of outsiders, whether they have cause to be or not. On that basis, one could argue that the conflict at Cartanal is a necessary evil. Each nation has its own warmongering faction that advocates the acquisition of Omega. In order to placate them, we present them something resembling warfare, and thereby curb their appetite for full-scale conflict. But enough idle musing. Let us speak of a more pressing matter, the Ivy. Since we spoke at the observatorium, Captain Aelberd has further shortened his list of suspects, and by happy coincidence, the one he deems the most likely candidate is likely to come to Gridania. The hunt nears the end, Scottbot. All that remains is to corner our quarry. Seek out Aelberd near the Outer's Nest. He'll give you the particulars. Should there be any developments in Korthias, you may be sure that I will send word without delay. In the meantime, I wish you success in apprehending the Ivy. Seems like it's in this area. You know, I'm just kind of looking through. I saw Bloody Roar in this list, and I wonder if there's any other ways to play those. Get's got a collection. I think Grandia might have a new version. Oh, there's a there's a PS1 Harvest Moon. There's a PS1 Harvest Moon I could get. That one I don't think has been re-released in any way. And that one's probably expensive. That's also another thing, like how expensive is it to get like a physical copy? My thanks for coming, Scion. Doubtless the commander has informed you, but we have unmasked the Ivy. From this point on, we must proceed with extreme caution. I want the Lancer's equipment. Before I start this next, before I continue, I'm going to step away for just a moment. Refill water, see if Doc needs to go out, and there's something I gotta do very quickly. BRB. I am back. There we go. Had to step away for a moment. Fill water, let dog out. Pull out dinner so it starts thawing. That sort of thing. Sounds like our audio's still fine. Alright. Swap it back over. And we shall do this. Listen well. The spy we have been seeking all this time is none other than the Flame Marshal, Eline Roabon's second command. Prior to joining the Immortal Flames, she was a mercenary of no small renown. They say her skill with the pole arm has to be seen to be believed. Oh my. Of the Ishgardian birth, she is the highest ranked foreigner of the Immortal Flames, bearing the Flame General himself, of course. When he formed the Grand Company, Raubon chose people based on their worth. Whence they hailed what was of no interest. The Monasteries saw things differently, however. Having funded the enterprise, they reserved the right to reject candidates nominated for high-ranking positions. And 'twas no secret that they did not favor foreigners, Ishgardians especially, after the way the Holy See forsook the alliance. Yet the monasteries did not raise so much a murmur of protest when Royale was appointed to her post. Passing strange, is it not? Could it be that the Ivy had some hold over the Monateris? But these are revelations only secondary to our current mission. Of foremost interest to us of Royale's presence here now. As you may be aware, it is the duty of the Flame Marshal to command the Immortal Flames in the absence of the Flame General, while Raubon attended to the Council of Alliance. Council of Alliance leaders, she should have remained in the Hall of Flames. The woman has no business being in Gridania, yet here she is nonetheless. On some pretense, she is up to something. Mark my words. Even as we speak, I have a dozen men throwing the Flames record for evidence of Royale's guilt. But if we can catch her red-handed, we shall have all the proof we need. Which brings me to the plan. I have people watching the city gates, the airship landing, and the docks. Every point of egress. She cannot leave without our knowledge. All that remains is to shadow her until she betrays her true purpose. Can I rely upon your eyes, Scion? You have my thanks. Let us go, then. And take care not to alert our quarry. Can't move. There we go. I was gonna say, it was taking a bit for the quest to actually, start. L'Oreal is headed in the direction of the Blue Badger Gate. With me, Scion. Gotta do a stealth mission. Yes. All we need is a box. They'll never find me. So L'Oreal has entered the car line canopy. Meaning someone, perchance? Or could it be she means to board an airship? Pray look for her within. If she is not on the upper floor, try the landing area below. One of mine is stationed there, and she may have seen something. Effie is her name. I shall remain here in case Royale reappears. Maybe you're the spy. Looks like downstairs. Okay. Scapot Mulgold, such an unexpected pleasure. What brings you here? A social visit, you say? How present. No, she didn't come this way. I've noticed every passenger and none bore any resemblance. Well, don't let me keep you. So she entered here, but we don't see her. Maybe that was a mole. Or she went to the inn. I don't know. Teleporting? Might have the coin to teleport. Nowhere to be seen, you say? And you sure she did not board on an airship? She did not come back out either. Where in the seven hells could she have gone? The roost? How could I forget? Greetings, good sir. Might I interest you in some Muntoy tonic? A cup of day imbues a man with great vigor, if you take my meaning. Perhaps another time, friend. Wait, that necklace. You're a shinobi of Doma. The woman you seek has left Gridania by way of West Shore Pier. She was attired as a merchant, but these eyes are not so easily deceived. You may wish to take your search to the East Shroud. Rest assured that we shall continue to support you from the shadows. Think the 12 of the Domans. Were it not for the unique talent, Royale would have disappeared without a trace. War relay? I don't know. Our hunt leads us to the East Shroud, Scion. I suggest we follow Warrelay example and take the ferry to the Western Pier. My god. You'll doubtless wish to make certain preparations. See to them while I go on ahead. I shall wait for you at Sweet Bloom Pier. And I could just head straight there. Be faster to teleport. Lancers go. There we go. What else? What other games are in here that may be considering? Jumping Flash? I don't know. You could probably get those for cheap. Klonoa, Dota Phantom Isle. They did remakes for those. Legacy of Kain. I think there's Steam versions of that. Oh, I think I have it. Legit Dragoon. That one may be locked to PS3 without a physical copy, so that's a good one to consider. Legend of Mana. That one might have been ported. Medal of Honors, Medieval, that got a remake. Mega Man 8, there's plenty of versions. Mega Man Legends. Okay. Legends 1 and 2. Hell, Trombone might be in there as well. We can maybe expect a re-release collection at some point, but you can't always be certain, right? If anything, I'd be willing to, like, ignore those if I want to save some money, but because at this pace, their Legends would be next to get a collection of some sort. This way, my friends. Your quarry makes for the Hawthorne Hut. If Warrele is truly the one we seek, we can expect that she means to make contact with our Garlean masters there. Guardian. An explanation is in order. You are no doubt aware that Yeah, it is Garleans. The Garleans have their own method of communicating over great distances. Well, our ingenious friends... My god, I can't speak. at Garland Ironworks have provided us with the device which disrupts these communications, and we have installed them around the city-states. In doing so, we have made it difficult for Imperial agents to correspond with their masters. Eorzea would thus have no choice but to rendezvous with her Imperial contact directly. Yet, as a well-known face in the Immortal Flames, she cannot move about Thanaland without being recognized. It would only be a matter of time before someone saw through her disguise. 'Tis for this reason I believe that she has chosen the Black Shroud for her clandestine meaning. The Elzian are common sight here, and her comings and goings are not likely to turn any heads. As my scouts tell it, the Garleans have sent agents with a mind to destroy the devices and render such direct contact unnecessary. Fortunately, our shinobi have thus far been successful in rebuffing their efforts. This is it. We need only to make for Hawthorne's hut and catch Woales in the act. My people report that our quarry has departed for the Bramble Patch. The ivy returns to gnarls whence she came, but perhaps it is all for the better. To convict someone of her standing, we will require damning evidence against her. What could be better than to catch her in the act when she meets with her Garlean masters? My countrymen and I shall lie wait in the shadows. Tread warily, my friends. Back this way. Just beyond, Eorzea is in conversation with an individual clad in the manner of a venturer, an Imperial intermediary, no doubt. This is it. With me. Flame Marshal Elaine Royale, whatever. You are under arrest for treason and espionage. You were followed, you bloody fool! Damnation! You are unarmed, my lady, and scarcely garbed for battle. But if you wish to fight, you are welcome to try. What is the meaning of this, Captain? Would you arrest me for strolling the Twelveswood? When last I looked, that was no crime, and neither was conversing with passing strangers. Ad's gonna start soon. You were feign ignorance, then. Very well. If you do think of something to say, there'll be plenty of time to say it later. Now come quietly, or I shall make you wish you had. I will offer you no struggle. After all, I have naught to hide. was kind of easy. No fight needed. I think we'll have ads right now. Yep, there's the ads. Minute and a half. Might as well wait for that to end. Won't take that long. Okay. Check your socials, because why not? Oh, right. I could probably look up more PlayStation stuff while waiting. Let's see. Medal of Honor, Medieval, those got remakes. I may consider the Legends games. I already have Metal Gear Solid because of the collection from back then. And also the collection now. So, VR Mission, same thing. Metal Slug X. I think there's modern ways to get those. Namco Museum. I think there's plenty of ways to play old Namco games. Oddworld? Pac-Man World, I have that game, and plus there's the remake. Pandemonium, Parasite Eves. That might be something I need to consider. Persona 2, Eternal Punishment. Ooh. Actually, I think I need to consider that. I think I need to consider Eternal Punishment. That would probably be the only way for me to get an official copy, because it's like, what, $400 to get one? That way I have a official version. Anyway, ads are done. Even a warrior of Royale's renown could not have hoped to escape by force. Despite her claims, her surrender does not bespeak innocence, but an awareness that her position is untenable. With the ivy thus uprooted, it is to be hoped that the tendrils she entwined around the immortal flames will gradually wither and die. Mayhap, then, the people of Ul'dah will have the grand company they deserve. But let us speak of the present. If I may ask, what will you do now, Scapa? So the Scions seek a way into Iceheart's sanctum. Then I dare say you are eager to return to the Rising Stones. Pray do not let me keep you. Fear not, my countrymen and I shall tend to the aftermath. You need not waste your talents here. And speaking of talents, have you considered training in the art of shinobi? You have the aptitude for it, I believe, so please give it some thought. Till next time, my friend. I mean, eventually I need to go into Rogue. It's been a while since I actually gone into a new job class. Speak with Minfilia. Oh, that's back all the way at, Mordona. While I'm waiting for that to load. Yeah, I may have to consider Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. There's no other re-release from what I'm aware, and the PSP version was not made in English. Having a version official that would be the way to go. Rayman's, I think there's plenty of versions of Rayman to get. Resident Evil, there's Steam versions I can get instead. Romance of the Three Kingdoms? I don't know on that. Silent Hill, actually. May have to get Silent Hill through that. That might be the only way to really get it. Luckily, I have all the Spyros. Star Wars Dark Forces. Street Fighter Alphas, I have the collection. Suikoden's, there's the modern collection. For 1 and 2, anyway. There's actually a few PS1 games on the PS3 that might be worth getting for me anyway. Luckily, I could try spacing them out throughout like the year, but may have to consider them. Again, just to have a official copy of some sort. Even though there's the Mega Man Legends games, if I don't get those, there's a good chance there'll be collections for the Legends, but, I mean, you can never be too certain, you know, right? You can always play it safe. But I think the Legends games are the ones I could probably get away with not buying. Welcome back, Scapot. I understand that Alphanaud has had a task for you. May I ask what it was? Charges of treason and espionage against Elaine Royale? I can scarce believe it. Could there not have been some manner of misunderstanding? No, it avails us not to dwell on it. Whether the truth may be, we must trust the authorities to uncover it. Let us speak of another matter. I am pleased to report that we have made progress in our efforts to find our way into Iceheart's sanctum. Okay. As you may recall, Iceheart used the Aetheryte in the depths of Snowcloak to teleport to a short distance to the west, most likely to a sanctuary of some description. It is there that we suspect she means to summon Shiva using the crystal she stole from the House 410 caravan. The heretics believe that they are bringing about the second coming of their patron saint. But if, as we suspect, they mean to hold a summoning ritual for the kind employed by the beast tribes, it seems likely that the result will be something more akin to a primal. Sufficient to say they must be stopped, and stop them we shall. But first, we must surmount the obstacle that Iceheart has placed in our path. Ordinarily, it would be a simple matter to tap to an established Aetheryte, and thereby follow our quarry. However, despite our best efforts, we have been unable to ascertain the position of the Aetheryte in which she teleported. Our prevailing theory is that she destroyed the second Aetheryte upon our arrival. A reckless, desperate measure, but also an effective one. After discussing the matter at length with Eorzea, we have concluded that we lack the expertise to develop a solution, which is why we have called upon the aid of one who does possess such expertise, a colleague of ours who is currently en route to Revenant's Toll from Charlian. She should be arriving within the hour, in fact. Since you are here, mayhap you could welcome her together. I am certain she would appreciate the gesture. Let us make our way to the northern gates and await her coming. Yeah, Eternal Punishment, physical copies are like 400. PSP Eternal Punishment never got released over here. What else do we got? Siphon Filter? I don't know. Tekken's. I have Tekken 2. King of Fighters 99. I think there's ways to play King of Fighters. Misadventures Strong Bond is there. Okay, I have to consider that. Tomba 1 and 2. I might have to look into that. Tomb Raiders, they have modern collections. Ooh. Twisted Metals. Ujamalami. There's Vagrant Story. That one I have to consider. And here's the thing, if I purchase like one of these PS1 games and then it either gets a port or like a remake, that's fine. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it, you know? Ooh, Wild Arms. Wait, how many Wild Arms are in here? 1 and 2? That might be something I have to consider, actually. Xenogears, that's a must to consider. Okay. There may be a few PS1 games I'm going to have to consider over the year. Just to get periodically.
Minfilia, am I right?
None other. I bid you welcome to Revenant's Toll, and thank you for traveling so far on such short notice.
As if I could ever say no to Eorzea.
Eorzea, I can never remember his name.
Moonbreeder is an accomplished Charlian scholar and an authority on Aetheryte technologies. She has played an invaluable role in our search for a means to capture Ascian souls.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Your haircut's stupid. I'm not really a fan of that type of look, to be honest. The side shave head, basically. The flip over all on one side. Not a fan. That's just me, though. Let's return to the Rising Stones at once. We have much to discuss. These types of missions are kind of annoying. Go over here. Talk to this person. Now we go back. Mission's done. Yeah, it looks like there's a few PS1 games on the PS3 that I may have to consider. And I haven't even looked into like digital-only PS3 games. Because I think there's a Castlevania like multiplayer one that's still only on PS3 and 360. I don't know if there's a PC release. Although, it might be better to get that one on 360 instead. I don't know.
Moon! Gods, it's been ages!
Oh, longer, sister.
A joyous reunion indeed.
Well, of course it is. Moon and I are like twin sisters.
Save in appearance and aptitude.
Everyone, if I could have your attention. We have with us an esteemed guest who has come from Sharlayan to assist us. I bid Moonbreeder join us here that she might share with us her extensive knowledge of Aetherites.
This is also a character I have no knowledge of. Never appeared in Dissidia.
As many of you are already aware, she has been overseeing our research into white Eorzea, a sample of which she has been good enough to bring with her.
Well, I had to come, didn't I? You'd have to be bloody daft to turn your nose up at a chance like this. Where better to conduct my final tests than a land so steeped in ether you can taste it?
'Tis plain the passage of the years hath done little to dampen thy youthful spirits, and nothing at all to reform thy youthful manner.
Eorzea, where in the hells have you been hiding?
Unhand me.
Let me go! I do not like to be hugged.
I come all this way, and that's what you have to say to me. I much preferred when you were pleading with me to drop everything and hurry to your side. What was it you said? None save thee can satisfy this need.
Oh my.
Thine artless attempts to misrepresent mine all too innocent motives do thee little credit. Mine intent, as well thou knowest, was but to impress upon thee the gravity of the circumstance. Lest thou doubt, a deiform entity shall shortly be summoned, save if thou and no other grantest my compeers thine aid.
You still haven't found it, then? You're missing Aetherite.
I'm also going to type in like PS3 only.
We have not. No. We know that Iceheart teleported to an Aetherite not far from the first. Yet even after careful analysis, we could not locate the second beacon. We now suspect that the heretics destroyed the second Aetherite to impede our pursuit. Our allies continue to scour Snowcloak for Iceheart's sanctuary, but we have no guarantee that they will find it. Yet it must be found, for even now Iceheart prepares to call upon Saint Shiva.
I'm sorry, but if the Aetherite's been destroyed, then that's that. Although, you're absolutely sure she used the first Aetherite, are you? She didn't just use teleportation magics.
One of our own bore witness to her escape. I can say with absolute certainty that Iceheart used the Aetheryte.
In that case, there might be a way, so long as the ethereal current is still flowing.
Truly? How?
We use the current to recreate the beacon.
There's actually a
As
few
you know,
games that are digital
Aetherites are
on
a bit
PS3.
like lighthouses. We use them to reconstitute our physical forms when crossing the ethereal sea. Without them, we'd lose all sense of direction and our essence would dissipate. However, we don't rely solely on these beacons. There are currents of ether which flow between them, currents which help guide us to our destination. Now, these currents will gradually dwindle away to nothing if an Aetherite is destroyed. But, if even a sluggish flow remains, we could theoretically use it to direct a surge of concentrated ether towards the void left by the beacon, and thereby fill it up again.
Like opening the floodgates to fill a dry riverbed. Though, correct me if I'm wrong, but would we not need a veritable reservoir of ether?
In concert, we might manage to channel a sufficient volume, yet that is not my chief concern. To direct the flow of so great a volume of ether with the requisite precision would be a nigh impossible task in itself.
I barely succeeded in facilitating travel to an unattuned beacon. That which you describe sounds considerably more difficult.
And dangerous. Every person who has attempted to teleport in this fashion has died in the process. They, however, did not have white aura sight at their disposal. I can use it to channel all the ether you can give me into the Aetherite. However, white aura sight cannot retain ether for an extended period of time, so we would need to infuse it immediately beforehand. Just so you know, I'd confidently give this plan better than even odds of success. And if the worst comes to worst, your people won't suffer.
Though it risked the lives of our best and brightest, we have not the time to seek other options. If the ethereal current still flows, we shall carry out Moonbreeder's plan.
That's the spirit. Let's roll the dice.
It sounds like we're heading to Shiva. I have already informed Alphinaud of our plan to recreate the beacon in the manner of Moonbreda described. He agreed that despite the inherent danger, it represents our only hope of success. He also said that he wished to meet with you at Snowcloak before proceeding. I expect you will find him waiting for you there when you arrive. I want you to know that I appreciate everything you have done on our behalf, Scottbot, and I have faith you will return to us, as you always have. Right. But yeah, I think I'm more interested in the PS1 games that are kind of stuck on PS3. Kind of with my retro type of interests. Having an official copy of older games that are hard to get physically or expensive is kind of a good idea. But there's I need to look through the ones that are not like retro games. Maybe there's some unique ones in there that's worth getting, but I think I'm not really focused on those. But you never know. Maybe there's something good in there. That Castlevania one is like the only one that can come to mind for me. Okay, I think I need to go this way. this route. We go around. Actually, can I just fly over? Do I even need to take the cave? Might not need to, actually. Thank God you could just fly. Never mind. I could just take that shortcut. Alright, off and on. I'm here. Good to see you, Scottbot. I was starting to wonder if you were having second thoughts. Captain Ilbert sends his regards, by the way. He attends to the interrogation of Elaine Royer in Ulda, even as we speak. But I shall not distract you from the matter at hand. We can discuss the Ivy upon your return. I trust that, by which I mean to say, the others are waiting for us at the Aetheryte. After you, Scion. What was that big shadow that was in the middle? Kind of moved. There, it's ready. Oh, it's one of the floating stones. Got it. It worked, I think. Try attuning to the Aether right now. Feel for the current to try to locate the beacon. Have you done all we have done all we can, Scottbot. For now, let us withdraw. When your final preparations are complete, you must seek out the beacon we have created. If, by the grace of the 12, you arrive safely, you must stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva. Because we can't get to the crystal because it's part of the dungeon, so the teleport marker for it will be out here, isn't it? That's the reason. We can't ignore the possibility that our actions have alerted Iceheart to our plans. Should that be the case, she may attempt to hasten the completion of the summoning ritual, and if she succeeds, you have little choice but to face Shiva in battle. Knowing little of this saint, I cannot say for your own strength will suffice. And so I will encourage you to call upon your allies. Some may have reservations about wagering their lives on the success of Moon Breda's experiment. But others will surely agree that desperate times call for desperate measures. Before you assemble your party, pray speak to the knight, and I believe he has a message for you from Sir Emmerich. Sir Emmerich regrets that he could not be here in person, and asks that to read you this letter. Ishgard faces an unprecedented threat, yet in our hour of need, it is not her knights who stand poised to defend her. Scottbot Mulgold, the warrior of light, savior of Eorzea, your deeds this day shall not be forgotten. Where others would flee, you chose to remain. Where others will falter, you rise to the challenge. Where others will use their gifts for selfish ends, you wield yours in service of the greater cause. I just want to do dungeons. May Halsum bless you with good fortune, and see you safely home. Now, it is time to start up the Shiva fight. I'm pretty sure it's Shiva. Either way, we gotta start it up. It's probably gonna wait a bit. We'll see how long it takes for Shiva to pop in. Let's see. Just kind of trying to look through a list of PlayStation 3 like only games. This is just a. Sally, this is just kind of a forum post. Not really what I'm looking for. Oh, it was in 2023 that they were going to shut it down? Wow, so only like, what, 3 years ago? No, it feels like it was before that. I want like a full list, if possible. Nope. Is there a full list somewhere? I probably need to go onto the PlayStation Store on the PS3 and maybe there's a filter. There's probably a filter somewhere. Be like, digital only, and probably can do that. Let's try this. Yeah, we're gonna be waiting for a while anyway. So I guess there's an old list, Wikipedia list. But it's something. I don't know if there's anything interested in here, but I'm just kind of glancing through. Bionic Commando Rearmed, I don't know on that. Blood Rain Betrayal, probably not interested. But, yeah, I don't know. I probably won't be getting many of these. Wait, I'm probably more interested in the PS1 stuff. Yeah, Castle Crashers, but there's more modern ways to play Castle Crashers, so that's not a worry. Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse? Oh, was that? Oh, that was a remake. 2.5D. There's got to be another version. Harmony of Despair. That's the Castlevania that I was looking into. I don't think that's gotten re-released anywhere else. Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing, like, some of these probably got re-released somewhere else. If that's the case, I could probably just hold off and not bother. Like, here's a Darkstalkers collection, but I have the modern one on Switch, so I don't need that. You know, that sort of thing. I think this is just a list of digital-only games on PS3. It doesn't matter whether or not they're somewhere available anywhere else. It's just you can only get it on digitally on PS3. Got time to kill. Fat Princess? Is that a PS1 game or is that a download game? I'm not there yet. Hold on. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. What? Far Cry Classic. Fez, Fibbage, Final Exam, Final Fight. I don't see Fat Princess in here. Frogger Returns. Hyper Arcade. Yeah, I don't see myself getting too many of these. Guacamelee, yeah, that's in modern versions. Guilty Gear Double X. That's something to look into if there's not a modern version. Gundam Battle Operation Next, but that one might be Japan only. Let me see this. US, Europe, Japan. Yeah, Japan only. Gunstar Heroes. Yeah. PS3 digital game, you think? Well, if it's under a different name, delisted. It's viewable best of PSN Volume 1. I see. We got ads currently, but, you know. Oh, there's a few Hatsune Miku in here, but, for Project Diva, but that's Japan only. We got 10 seconds on ads, not like anything's happening anyway. I do not know how long I want to wait for this. I can also go Paladin. I probably have an easier time. So yeah, Fat Princess was delisted. That's kind of annoying. But there's some Hatsune Miku Project Diva in here, but it was a Japan-only thing. There's a Helldivers game in here. Again, if there's some other way to play these games, then I'm not going to worry about it. Jet Set Radio! But that's on Steam, so I have that. There's a decent amount in here, actually. But I don't know. Marvel Pinball? Well, Marvel Puzzle Quest, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Well, there's a modern version for that. Maybe I want to play some pinball with Iron Man, I guess. Mega Man 9 and 10. Well, I have those on Wii and the collections. Metal Slug 3. I think there's a modern way for that. Another Mobile Suit Gundam, but Japan only. Didn't get a lot of Gundam games, especially at that time. Mortal Kombat Arcade Collection with 1, 2, and 3, but there's modern versions, so probably don't need to worry about that. By the way, Cyber, did you look through the PS1, the list of PS1 games? Because I took a quick look, and there's a decent amount in there that I'm probably going to be considering. There's actually more than I thought. Few Oddworld games. Pac-Man Championship Edition? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I hear that one's good, but I don't know if I want to pick it up. Wait, was Ape Escape not in the PS1 stuff? I don't remember seeing it. Yeah, the reason why I'm looking through this is that there are some games that were like WiiWare that you just can't get anymore. And so, if there's anything kind of worth getting, Retro City Rampage DX. I don't know. Maybe. That's a maybe. But it might be available somewhere else. There's a few you're considering. I looked through not long ago, and it was actually more than I thought. The Mega Man Legends games are a part of it. However, there's a good chance we'll get a collection for those within the next couple years. So that's a possibility. That's a possible one I'm probably going to wait for. Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, Sonic CD. Oh, I think like every Sonic game in here can be played somewhere else. Soul Calibur 2 HD Online. Soul Calibur Lost Swords. I mean, Soul Calibur 2 physical copies are still fairly reasonable, so I don't need that. Lost Swords, I don't know about that. Space Ace, Space Channel 5. Yeah. Star Ocean Second Story, I think there's a modern version of that. Star Wars Pinball? Gonna play some pinball. Streets of Rage, Street Fighter 3. Right, there's the HD Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo HD Remix, but I think that's actually available. Modern stuff. Legends Collections any year now. Probably, if I'm going to say maybe 2 years. Which, it would have those two in Trombone. I still may get... Oh, here we go. We got Shiva. I still may get PS3 versions of those three. Because, let's be honest, you never know, Cyber. You never know what will happen. Maybe they'll never make them. Just having a version of those games would be nice. But based on the pattern recognition, I could probably afford to hold off on those. They told the recomp team to cease. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. But yeah, maybe I'll pick them up on PS3 as a just in case. But I could probably hold off on them. This is one of those, I wish they announced it like sooner, so that way I don't have to buy them, but they won't.
You should never have come here, warrior of light. I labor only to forge a lasting peace. A peace you would deny us out of ignorance and blind faith. No matter. If it is our fate to be at odds, then it is mine to strike you down. We whom gods and men have forsaken shall be the instruments of our own deliverance. Partake of my flesh. Fill this vessel with your light. Walk amongst your brothers and sisters once more. Oh, Saint Shiva, still the hatred within our hearts and bless us with eternal grace.
Finally get Shiva. Oh no, she's hot! Actually, I don't know how I feel about the hair spikes, to be honest. I don't know if this is my favorite Shiva look. Alright. No idea how this fight's gonna actually go. But yeah, Cyber, I looked through PS1 games, and I saw both Wild Arms in there. And I hear those are good. I saw Breath of Fire 4, but I think that one has a PC release? Persona 2 Eternal Punishment is in there. And that's one that's worth considering. Steam port is flawed. I mean, it's a official copy, so I think it's fine. Like, that's good enough sometimes. If it's just about owning a official version, you know. Yeah. Persona 2 Internal Punishment, I think that's a must. To try to get. I mean, assuming you even like RPGs to begin with. Yeah, Xenogears is one. Vagrant Story is probably one. There's some I need to double check, obviously. See if they're available somewhere else. I guess there was nothing we could do about this. And the music picks up now. I think I remember hearing this in here. Now I think about it. And that's that. You have Xenogears, need to work on getting others? Like, other what? Here, I could go through this list again and see if there was anything that caught my eye. Because some I could get in other ways. Some have ports, some have, like, remakes. Oh, I saw Parasite Eve 1 and 2 in here. I don't know about Ark the Lad. I don't know if they were any good. I saw Bloody Roars. There's a few Bombermans. There's a Harvest Moon PS1 in here. A couple Bombermans. There's Castlevania Chronicles. I don't think that one got re-released. It's a remake of the PS1 of the first Castlevania, but it's now like Light Yagami designed. Legend of Dragoon, Persona 2, Vagrant Story. Yeah.
Fool. Blind, bloody fool. You, of all people, should understand the suffering war begets. That no sacrifice is too great if it brings an end to the violence. Mine is the righteous cause. You fight in a war you do not understand. A pawn of liars and schemers. And they are no less ignorant than you, following the creed of their fathers without question, never thinking to ask why. Trapped in a delusion of their own creation, and blind to the truth.
You know, Cyber, I don't remember if Legend of Dragoon is actually that expensive for a physical copy, still.
Warrior
I'm gonna double check.
Redemption is not beyond us.
I mean, you can save money with that version, but still. I don't know if it's actually that spendy.
Who walk before may lead those who walk after.
A complete copy is $40. To be honest, that's actually not that bad. Greatest hits, you could pay $27, you know, so closer to $30.
Seek the keeper of the lake. See with eyes unclouded.
But yeah, you only pay like, what, $5? So.
Do not squander mother's gift. Hear, feel, think.
Let me look up Persona 2. How much is it now?
And so the vessel withdraws. A predictable outcome.
Yep, complete copy, $400. I knew I was right on that one.
Eorzea will be pleased. How unfortunate.
Even though I'm pretty sure there's a PSP version that has the English translation available now, and I probably would play that. This is probably the only way I'm getting an official copy of Persona 2 Eternal Punishment. By the 12, you're alive! I mean, of course you're alive! Why wouldn't you be? What, did you expect me to die? Iceheart did what? And you're certain about that, are you? Dravians are skilled with glimmers, after all. Look, if you say what you saw, I believe you. It's just that I've never heard of a primal being summoned like that before. Are you sure you're not injured? Head trauma has been known to cause hallucinations, you see. No? Fair enough. I was only asking. Play a little bit longer. If you ask me, there's not to be gained from mulling over the implications of your story in the freezing cold. Let's save it for the Rising Stones, eh? I'll get everyone to meet us there. Ah, but before that, you have best pay a visit to Right Blim Front and speak with Alphanod. He's probably worried sick about you. That, or he's busy playing at politics with the Ishgardians. Either way, I'm sure he'd be delighted to see you hale and healthy. Speaking of which, you don't have a headache or anything, do you? No? Blurry vision? No? Oh, no reason. See you again soon. You walked this way to a dead end. Okay, I see how it works. But, like, I have the Spyro games, both the remakes, and I actually have the original PS1 disc. There's Crash Bandicoot. I don't have the original PS1 disc, but I do have the remake, so I'm kind of good there, you know? Even if there's no other way to play Crash Bandicoot PS1, I don't think they have modern ways, the remakes are good enough, you know? I mean, is it one-to-one the same? No. But if all you care is just to play Crash Bandicoot, it's kind of all you need. So I wouldn't bother with that. That's just me. That's kind of my mindset. There he is, and none the worse for wear. Was there any other doubt that the Warrior of Light would succeed? I think I speak for all of us when I say that I should like nothing more than to hear a stirring tale of your victory. If you would be so kind. Then we were too late to prevent the summoning. But not too late to prevent further loss of life. An outcome worthy of celebration, and one for which we have Scottbot to thank. Yes, you are right, of course. Sir Aymeric, we should be content with what we have accomplished. I, for one, could not have wished for a better outcome. Shiva is no longer a threat, and the heretics have been routed. Aye, there is the matter of Iceheart's escape, but she cannot run forever. Whether it takes days, weeks, moons, or even years, my knights will find her. In the meantime, Lord Drillmont is the caravan ready. The supplies that your men recovered have been prepared for transport, in accordance with your wishes. Rest assured that my knights will see them safely to Revenant's Toll. Of that, I have no doubt. I take it, these are the self-same supplies the heretics stole from the House Four Temps caravan. Less the crystals which comprise the bulk of the shipment, yes. Scarcely a fraction of which was promised, but a meaningful contribution to your cause all the same. Oh, and on an unrelated note, Scottbot, might I trouble you to accompany me to Camp Dragonhead at your earliest convenience? 'Tis not for my benefit. A certain lord was most distressed when he learned of your intent to risk life and limb to stop Iceheart. It took half a dozen knights to restrain him, I am told. I give the sure, why not? Men give vent for their to their anxieties in myriad ways. Pray do not think less of him. I guess I'll head there. We did a dungeon and we fought Shiva. Honestly, not that bad. Not... Yeah, okay, I thought it was over there. Yeah, what else was there that was kind of worth... I mean, Chrono Cross has another re-release. Chrono Triggers, Crash Team Racing has other versions. Darkstalkers, same thing. There's modern versions to get. Dino Crisis has PC. There's a few Disney games, I guess. You can consider if you care. Final Fantasy stuff, which honestly, there's other versions. Hell, Pixel remasters are kind of the main thing. And hell, with Tactics, if you get the Tactics remake, it comes with the PS1 version. There's no reason. Okay, hold on. What were you thinking, Scottbot? Wagering your life on a dubious theory which might allow you to enter Iceheart's lair. Knowing full well that she could have sufficient forewarning to complete her ritual to summon Shiva anyway. And then, engaging in the abomination in mortal combat. By the fury, Scottbot, 'tis the stuff of ballads, the battle for the ages. Would that I have been there to fight by your side. Yet here I was, forced to wait, condemned to wonder at the fate of a dear friend for a veritable eternity. I would not wish for such torture on my most hated enemy. But you're here now, and that is what truly matters. Let us move on. Sir Emmerich wished to have words with you and Master Alphinaud in private. He awaits us in his intercessory. We have to go outside and go around. Greetings, sir. I shall show you in at once. My God, I can't speak. Words are hard.
On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, allow me to express my deepest thanks. Never before have we been required to contend with a primal. Indeed, there were fears in some quarters that our knights might not be equal to the task. From what we have now learned of these beings, I can say with certainty that we would have lost a great many men had the Scions not intervened.
Then the argument for preemptive action should be self-evident. Perchance now you will reconsider my proposal that Ishgard move against Natalan.
Ere we first met, a similar proposal was tabled, but the Holy See decreed that we were to observe, and that military action should be taken only in self-defense. All things considered, it was not an unreasonable decision. Since the calamity, 2 vigils have fallen to the Horde, while Garuda has never shown any inclination to storm the gates of judgment. Which is why this unprecedented crisis and its resolution may prompt a change in policy. You who have faced these primals know well the threat they pose. Ishgard did not. Not until now. And there is naught like a brush with death to change a man's outlook.
At the very least, this should silence any lingering objections to our arrangement with Revenant's Toll. The Holy See may even feel moved to grant us its formal endorsement.
So far as it is possible, the Scions shall be compensated for their service.
We should be grateful for any aid you can provide.
As a gesture of good faith, I shall withdraw my previous request. Your people are doubtless needed elsewhere.
That will not be necessary. We, too, have a vested interest in watching Dravania's movements.
I see. Once more, I must thank you.
Sir Emmerich, if I may, do you truly believe that Midgard's-Oma could return?
The heavens are a window unto truth, but those who interpret their movements are not infallible. I requested your involvement as a precautionary measure.
But of course, you sought an excuse to compensate us from the first, mindful of what would happen if Revenant's toll were taken by your enemies. Ishgard is not wont to aid its neighbors, but that does not preclude it from manipulating them to serve its own interests.
Choose your next words carefully.
Do you know what sort of man becomes Lord Commander of the Temple Knights? One who comes from good stock. I did not. Yet here I am now. Why do you suppose that is? Because I swiftly learned to tell the difference between words, deeds, and beliefs. You are correct, Master Leveilleur. Ishgard desires to see Revenant's toll flourish, as it would present a troublesome obstacle to our enemies from the south.
We are so glad to be of use to you.
As we are to you. Ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement, lest we forget. One born of necessity. The dragons grow more restless by the day, and the heretics harry us nigh without cease. We have contended with such troubles for centuries, but there are limits to even our endurance. Yet as a pauper is loath to part with his meager possessions, the leaders of Ishgard are not wont to render up their trust to outsiders. But with perseverance on our part, they may yet be made to see the light. Nevertheless, one must take care when walking the road less traveled.
Wise words, Sir Emmerich. I shall make a point to remember them. I must apologize for my earlier outburst. I hope it will not sour our good relations.
Not at all. You but spoke from the heart. I trust you understand that at times my duties may prevent me from meeting with you. On such occasions, my second-in-command will speak for me.
Lucia, at your service. Pray excuse our reticence. We are but wary of speaking too freely, lest our sentiments be made known to our enemies. Know that the Lord Commander and I are of one mind. For the sake of Ishgard, and of Eorzea at large, I pray our peoples can put aside their differences. Those who dwell in the past risk losing sight of their future.
Should aught befall one of our shipments, pray inform Lucia immediately. You may also relay to her any words you might have for me alone. Not being of Ishgardian birth, she owes no allegiance to any noble house, making her as near to incorruptible as one can find in my homeland. Suffice it to say, I trust her completely, and so may you. Which reminds me, Lord Orchefort, if you would be so kind?
Certainly.
In times such as these, trust is ever in short supply. Mayhap this will go some way to rectify the problem. The results of our investigation into the heretics' recent attacks, as well as our interrogation of the merchant you detained.
Sir Emmerich, I cannot thank you enough.
Think nothing of it. Ishgard may be many things, but it is no friend to Garlemald.
Did I not tell you to have faith, my friend?
Okay. Yeah. Ads are gonna start soon. And I'm thinking they're gonna have me head back to Minfilia. And this is kind of a decent spot to, like, this kind of seems like the end of one section, start of another type of thing. Okay, we got ads. Oh no, I have to talk to you. You're right here. We'll wait for the ads. Yeah, I mentioned Harvest Moon. What was another? Oh, Hot Shots Golf. Maybe. I don't know. Some of this you gotta consider, like, pricing of the physical cartridge, physical stuff, too. Right, I need to look up Legend of Mana. I think that one has a re-release. We got 45 seconds of ads left. Take a second to check your socials and stuff. Take a stretch. Drink of water. Let's see, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Uh, 15. Okay. Alright. Ads should be done. And Cyber, if you're still listening, I see... Well, Legend of Mana, I need to double check to see if there's a modern version. Legacy of Kain, I think, has Steam versions, so I think you're good there. Hot Shots Golf is something maybe you should consider. I hear it's one of the better golf games. Like, you know, it's like Mario Golf. It's hard to tell sometimes, you know, that's all. Does Legend of Mana have a modern port? I think it does. It would seem we have much to discuss with our friends at the Rising Stones. If what you say is true, Iceheart's methods of summoning Shiva defies all precedent. It necessitates a complete reprisal of the primal threat, and of our approach to combating it. Moreover, there are grave ramifications if word of this incident reaches Imperial ears. The Garlean Empire believes that primals are an insufferable menace, that their mere existence is a threat to this very star. As such, they may deem any action taken against the beast tribes to be justified by debut. Mana currently 65% off, but there's modern stuff, right? Where before we had to contend with a single Imperial Legion, we could well find ourselves facing the combined might of all Garlemald. Yep, okay, so I don't need to worry about that. That one I can skip. When I speak unadvisedly, come Scottbot. It is better that we continue this conversation in Mordana. While I have the Chocobo, the unicorn, head that way. Let me take a look. Metal Slug, I think, has modern stuff. I'm just going through stuff I'm interested in. There's Namco Museums 1 through 5, but I'm pretty sure there's plenty of ways to play classic Namco, if you care. There's Oddworld games. I have no clue about other versions for those. Pac-Man World has the remake. Parasite Eve 1 and 2 is something I should look into, actually. Because I don't think those have any other versions. Then I mentioned Persona 2. Pocket Fighter. I don't know. What else is there? Rayman 1 and 2. I actually have it, Rayman 1. So, Rayman 2, I'm pretty sure there's plenty of ways to play it. Resident Evils have been added to Steam. Silent Hill is one I should add in, actually. Because I think that one... I mean, yeah, there's the collection, but I don't hear good things about the collection. Suikoden games got the remakes. There's Siphon Filters, if you care. Tekken 1 and 2, but I don't see Tekken 3 in here. Tomba games. Tomb Raider's got remakes. Twisted Metals, maybe. You know, there's stuff to consider. There's actually more than I thought that I would consider picking up. Yeah, Wild Arms for sure. 1 and 2. Xenogears. Yeah. There's a few that I'll probably pick up. But yeah, I'll pick them up officially, but then probably just add them onto my computer because I have official versions then. You know, retro achievements and such. Alright.
Words cannot well express how glad I am to see you return to us hale and whole. Needless to say, I am most eager to hear your account of that which occurred in Kurthis, assuming you're ready to speak of it.
So there's no
Excellent.
interruptions.
I shall summon the others at once. Iceheart used her own body as a vessel for a primal soul?
Master Louisoir's writings make no mention of such a possibility. Can we be certain this entity was a primal?
As certain as we can be that good King Mogulmog the 12th was a primal, I should think. Both were ostensibly summoned.
Let's not quibble over definitions. Of more concern is the implication that Iceheart retained her will even after she was possessed. We are talking about a mortal wielding the power of a primal.
It can't possibly be that easy, can it? There must be some sort of sacrifice required. Or maybe she's just special?
What qualities this woman possesseth, I know not. But full sure am I that she was groomed for this role. Few are privy to the secrets of summoning, and but a single party standeth to profit from their dissemination.
Well, I wouldn't presume to comment on how the lass came to know about summoning, but I will say that what she summoned was a primal. The readings were the same, or near as damn it. Strange as it all sounds, it's really no different from what you've faced before.
Then mayhap it is time that we re-examined our previous encounters.
Pack your things, Ida. We're going back to Gridania.
Yes, sir.
About Iceheart's final words to you. Hear, feel, think. Hydaelyn speaks to her as well. If Iceheart is blessed with the power of the Echo, she will doubtless have used it to further her goals. Or could it be that it was a revelation granted her by the Echo which first set her on this path? She did say that the Ishgardians were blind to the truth. Do you think she has knowledge of the origins of the Ishgardian-Dravanian War? It would do much to explain her unwavering conviction.
Did not the Lady Iceheart implore thee to seek the Keeper of the Lake? And did she not imply that in so doing thou wouldst come to see with eyes unclouded?
Midgard Zoma was a king amongst kings who reigned for centuries on end. But he is dead and his wisdom lost to the ages. Unless the Ishgardians' fears are well founded, it would seem we have yet another reason to stand watch over the Keeper of the Lake. For a mercy, we are well positioned to do so. Iceheart, Shiva, Ascians, and Midgard Zoma. I shudder to think how they're all connected.
Okay. That sounds like the end of something and the start of something else. End of Shiva, start of something else. And looking at the time, this is probably a good place to stop. Thanks for everyone who showed up. I am doing these streams Monday through Friday at noon Pacific time. If you want to see the old streams that are not on Twitch anymore, they're on YouTube at ScottBot64 Stream Archives. There's a link in the About page. If you are on the YouTube side, maybe consider the Twitch side. We got redeems and emotes to mess around with. Tomorrow, we're going back to Inazuma 11. Friday, I am pretty sure I am not doing my normal stream. So, we'll see on that. That's still kind of up in the air, but that's probably a no. Yeah, I'm just going to head out. I'm definitely going to set up my PS3 and Well, not necessarily shop, but, you know, do some pricing. You know what I mean? Figure out what I want to get. Anyway, have a good day. Later.